Peace be with you. Dear friends, today we reflect on Jesus healing the leper in Matthew chapter 8, verse 1 to 4. Jesus, after preaching the Sermon on the Mount, comes down. Very great significance of Jesus coming down the mountain to meet people and to work among them. Preaching always follows practice. Jesus was with the people all the time, while preaching and after preaching, and certainly wanted to help them whenever there was a need. The great multitudes gathered around Jesus wanted his help. Behold, there was a leper. During the time of Jesus, leprosy was a terrible and destructive disease. It continues to be so in some parts of the world today. The ancient leper had no hope in the society. So this leper came to Jesus with a great sense of need and desperation. Probably he thought Jesus could be the only help he could get. Leprosy might begin with the loss of all sensation in some parts of the body. The nerve trunks are affected, the muscles waste away, the tendons contract until the hands are like claws. There follows ulceration of the hands and feet. Then comes the progressive loss of fingers and toes until in the end a whole hand or a whole foot may drop off. Terrible it is. The duration of that kind of leprosy is anything from 20 to 30 years. It is a kind of terrible progressive death in which a person dies by inches. I had the opportunity to visit a leprosy hospital in Mumbai long back. Visiting the lepers that day with the help of some of the religious sisters who were taking care of them revealed to me how devastating this sickness can be. I got a clear sense of how greatly those lepers were suffering day in and day out. According to Jewish law and customs, one had to keep 6 feet distance from a leper, as we today are recommended to keep social distance due to COVID 19. If the wind was blowing toward a person from a leper, he had to keep 150 feet away. Lepers were considered people already dead, although being alive. In the Middle Ages, in some places, if a man became a leper and priest donned his stole and took his crucifix and brought the man into the church and read the burial service over him, for all human purposes, the man was declared already dead. For all these reasons, the condition of a leper is a model of sin and its effects. It is a contagious, debilitating disease that corrupts its victim and makes him essentially dead while alive. And it followed that almost universally, society and religious people scorned lepers. Rabbis especially despised lepers and saw them as people under the social judgment of God, deserving no pity or mercy. In this case of the leper, he approaches Jesus. No leper would ever have come near an Orthodox scribe or rabbi. He knew too well that he would be stoned away. But this man came to Jesus with all confidence. He had that perfect confidence in Jesus' willingness to welcome the man. Anyone else would have driven him away. The perfect lesson here for us is no man need ever feel himself too unclean to come to Jesus. The leper approached Jesus and worshipped him. He knew that Jesus could do something for him. Worship is offered only to God. Probably the leper saw in Jesus the real Savior and Lord who could heal him completely. It was against the ceremonial law to touch a leper, but Jesus did not give in to that law. He extended his hand and touched the leper, which made all the more meaningful to the afflicted man. Of course, as soon as Jesus touched him, he was no longer a leper. He was completely healed. We suffer probably different types of leprosy. Maybe we are attached to sin, addicted to vices, filled with weaknesses and difficulties. Maybe we have become untouchables because of our own fears and inhibitions, or we refuse to be in relationship with our brothers and sisters. We need to be healed. We need to approach Jesus, the Savior, who can touch us and heal us. As Jesus put out his hand and healed the leper, in the same way, he will put out his hand and heal us if we approach him with humility. Let us draw closer to Jesus in all our difficulties and sicknesses today. He is the healer and he is the one who can restore us to perfect health and happiness. Today's gospel must inspire us to be free with Jesus in our prayer and in our relationship with him. He is our Savior. Let this day make us aware of our sinfulness and Jesus' holiness, which can restore us to wholeness and health. God bless you.